After the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court to abolish the death penalty, the state of California turned the island of San Bruno into a prison for those convicted of serious crimes. This is what journalists at the television studio are preparing a story about immediately they see a news report in which Carmen is accused of a crime. Soon the woman is taken to San Bruno and she sees the unfriendly atmosphere as the bodies of some prisoners lie on the shore, afraid to go somewhere. Carmen sets up camp on the beach and meets Dr. Milford, who told how everything works here. The next morning, Carmen realizes that she cannot survive alone on the shore, as she will need to constantly get food and water. After collecting all the things, the woman overcomes the mountain obstacle and notices the camp where the prisoners live. Bobby and Mank, who lead the settlement, are looking forward to meeting the newcomer, as they know about her arrival on the island from the first minute. Noticing that Carmen is already there, Bobby allows a subordinate to taunt her in order to break the young woman's spirit. Carmen tries to greet Monk in a friendly way, but he immediately lashes out at her, trying to show who's in charge here. A woman tries to defend herself but is physically weak and cannot defeat a strong, healthy man. After knocking Carmen to the ground, he holds her head with his foot and warns her that she will have to obey their rules if she wants to survive on this island. The woman tried to call for help from others but quickly realized that no one here would help her or go against the leader of the pack. In the evening, Lee, Bunny and Joy go to their tent. They are the only women on the island, so they work little and primarily satisfy men and their needs. Upon meeting up with Carmen, Bunny jumps on her and pulls her away, as the woman has taken her place a few years ago. The girl took the life of her parents and has not spoken since then, and behaves in a closed way, not wanting to live by the rules sent before she arrived. Carmen decides to leave, but the men guarding the exit won't let her out. Realizing that there is no choice, the woman puts the other girls in their place and warns Bunny that she will severely punish her if she tries to lay a hand on her even once. The next morning, the prisoners work hard on the land to prepare it for the harvest. A little later, Lee tells Carmen that they are not the only group living on the island, but they don't care because everyone here is their own fault and must survive at all costs. Meanwhile, Joy asks for water from one of the inmates, but he responds rudely to her and spits in her face. Chino decides to stand up for the charming blonde, as a result of which a fight with knives takes place between him. Monk and Bobby reassure subordinates, reminding them that every working hand is needed and important. Now after lunch, the girls and other prisoners go build a bunker for the group leader. At some point, Lee notices that Carmen's hands are badly damaged and asks Dr. Milford to help her. In the evening, Monk breaks into the girls' tent without warning and warns them that they have night shift. Lee, Joy and Carmen must go to the men, each making love to at least 5 prisoners. These terms do not apply to Bunny, as she is Bobby's lover and can only make love to him. Carmen does not agree to such conditions, but no one asks her because this is the duty of all imprisoned women. Silent Bunny goes to Bobby and obediently fulfills all the requests of the ringleader. She cannot say no, so she undresses and sits next to the man, after which the couple has love. The next morning, one of the workers tends to the bunker but makes a mistake that causes the roof to collapse. A prisoner in line for food reacts violently to this and accidentally overturns the bull of the man standing behind him. As a result of this, a fight begins between them, which leads to the fact that the criminal takes the life of a comrade. Bobby and Monk watch this, but this time they decided not to interfere because in a wild tribe there is always a place for natural selection. A little later, 4 men carry the body of the deceased and throw it into the ocean as if it were garbage that needs to be disposed of. Closer to dinner, the girls, under the supervision of 2 prisoners, go to the reservoir to wash their clothes. At some point, they are attacked by a group under the command of AJ, freedom-loving prisoners who have decided to live separately from the tyrant Bobby, who uses the girls as slaves. After taking the lives of 2 criminals, AJ and his team take the girls into the woods to join their camp. Sometime later, Monk and his henchmen find the lifeless bodies of two men and realize who is behind it: AJ's group, and the free girls dine and enjoy their freedom. Dylan takes an increased interest in Joy since he hasn't made love in 3 months, but the girl rejects him. Literally a minute later, she shows signs of attention to another prettier guy. Joy shows her chest to Izzy and lets him look for food that has fallen into her shirt, after which she puts her hand in his pants. Dylan, watching this from the side, is outraged and does not understand why this guy is more fortunate than him. After dinner, Izzy and Joy go to a quiet place to make love. Dylan decides to stop them in order to take the girl by hearing her scream. AJ and Colonel rush to the rescue and stop the distraught Dylan, reminding them that they are not barbarians. Unlike Bobby's group in the morning, AJ and his men set a camp to find a new, safer place to sleep. They are constantly moving so that Bobby can't track them and only stop at night as he is afraid of the dark. Divided into small groups, they all go in search of a new campsite. Joy trains to shoot a bow to defend herself at the right time, and Lee finds a mineral whose powder is part of the explosive. Izzy, who made him a company, does not understand anything about this and simply enjoys life, offering not to linger in one place. AJ and Carmen went to the river where the woman found flowers and made a wreath out of them. She takes a liking to the man and kisses him, telling him that the flowers are poisonous and their sap can be used to make weapons. Meanwhile, Bunny and Carnal are picking berries to provide food for the group. A little later, Icy and Joy collect honey. The guy teaches how to do it right so that the bees do not attack him because their stings can be dangerous. A couple of hours later, Joy decides to put the knowledge into practice. Leaving the lake in the nude, she spots Dylan and dresses provocatively before suggesting they spend time together. A man is ready for anything, so he allows the girl to smear him with honey. He soon realizes that Joy decided to play a trick on him and smeared honey only in order to set aggressive bees on him. Frightened, Dylan ran to the water, to the amusement of the other mini-groups who had gathered together again. Here they are attacked by Monk and several prisoners from Bobby's squad. Having given a worthy rebuff, the group escapes. Arja asks Colonel to hold them back a bit to set up a trap. After a fight with Monk, Colonel escapes and the prisoner chasing him catches the cable and immediately says goodbye to life because of the sharp stakes. In the evening, AJ's group set up camp and tend to the wounded Chicky. At some point, Colonel and Carmen decide to move away to get some rest. AEG brings Dr. Milford, who has decided to join their squad, and notices the disappearance of the woman he loves. Realizing that the assistant is also missing, he checks the bushes and realizes that Carmen cheated on him with Colonel. Chicky did not live to see the morning, and many offered to take revenge on Bobby and his people. Age understands that it is almost impossible to do this since there are almost 7 times fewer of them and the forces are unequal. The girl suggests using flower poison and gunpowder with which they can collect homemade grenades to even the odds. After saying goodbye to Cheeky, who fell in the fight, the group prepares for battle. To do this, they make windpipes and arrows with poisonous tips and make homemade grenades collected from old flasks with explosives inside. Meanwhile, a local craftsman builds a radio for Bobby so he can eavesdrop on the communications of the military guarding the island while AJ's group is collecting grenades. Monk and the assistants go on reconnaissance again to take the lives of several enemies. Dylan is skeptical of the explosive and throws it, sending the rest of the group into a panic. Carnell and AJ ask the ward not to joke like that and notice that Bunny has disappeared. Monk finds the girl early and after kidnapping her drags her back to Bobby's camp. Roy Teal decides to stay behind to face resistance. Soon Izzy is in the clearing with an axe in his hands, who easily disarms the prisoner and then takes his life. Bobby listens to the radio and learns that the military guard will bring food. Deciding to organize an attack, he goes ashore with his henchmen to prepare a trap. To do this, he ties Bunny to 2 wooden support sticks and, having torn the shirt on the girl's back, quilts it with a whip. The other girls notice this and tell AJ what's going on. Soon the whole group gathers at the top of the mountain and realize that Bobby is up to something. As soon as the boat with the military begins to approach, the leader of the gang and his assistants hide behind the rocks. The guard floats a rubber boat into the water and heads to the shore. After pulling out several containers of food, the men notice the unfortunate girl and decide to help her. Meanwhile, one of the prisoners swims up to the boat and attacks the third military man. Taking away the weapon, he shoots at 2 guards on the shore and eliminates them. After taking possession of the machine guns, Bobby leaves Red to look after the boat and leaves for the camp. Along the way, he takes the life of one of the assistants, believing that the man is a danger to him. AJ and his friends realize that armed prisoners are a new threat that needs to be eliminated. Soon as he tricks him into swimming to the shore and hiding behind a rubber boat, shoots poison darts at Red. On the second attempt, he manages to get rid of the prisoner and take possession of the gun. On the boat, they find several cans of fuel and decide to use them to eliminate the enemy camp. Here, the doctor notices the unfortunate Bunny, who spoke for the first time in order to ask for help. In the evening, Bobby and Carnal prepare for a possible attack, realizing why Red hasn't returned to camp. Meanwhile, the doctor tells his story, according to which he is not guilty and did not commit a crime. The patient passed away and colleagues accused him of negligence, which is why Milford ended up on this island. The next morning, AJ's group of girls arrive at Bobby's camp and find it suspiciously empty. In preparation for the attack, Joy and Dylan leave Bunny near a drain to dump gasoline into Bobby's bunker. After attacking one of the prisoners in the toilet, Carnal and Lee take his life, after which they make the first explosion. Realizing that homemade grenades work, they eliminate several more prisoners. Monk hiding in the bunker. Bobby and their assistants attack the group, opening fire to kill, tries to cover for the girls, and becomes the first victim of the bandits. AH realizes that he lost his best friend in dreams of revenge on Bobby for the crying he committed. Bunny is scared and does nothing, so Lee runs towards the camp with a grenade. After a successful explosion, Bobby shoots the girl and takes her life. Injured Monk asks to go to the bunker and hides with Bobby. Dylan rushes to Bunny but becomes the next victim of the armed confinement. The frightened girl wants to help the man but gets shot in the arm. The doctor rescues Bunny and drags her into the bushes before pouring gasoline into Bobby's bunker and blowing it up. The main enemy lost his life and Monk lost his sight as he managed to jump out a couple of seconds before the explosion. AJ's group is living a peaceful life, growing crops and caring for pets. Izzy and Joy are expecting a baby. Monk is helping to set up a new home drive. Milford and Bunny run towards the shore. Upon seeing the new guards, they brought a prisoner and want to take the doctor away as he was acquitted. Milford is not going to leave the island as he met his love here and says that he is not alive.